Hey, 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 it's Monday, May 11th, 2009 and this is Lambda Newsblog. I'm Christopher Warner. In the headlines today, a United States soldier gunned down five of his comrades at a counseling center at the U.S. base in Baghdad, Iraq, according to the Pentagon. The shooting occurred at Camp Liberty, a sprawling U.S. base on the western edge of Baghdad near the city's international airport and adjacent to another facility where President Barack Obama visited last month. White House spokesman Robert Gibbs called the shooting a terrible tragedy and said Obama planned to meet with Defense Secretary Gates later in the day to discuss the matter. Gibbs said the president's heart goes out to the victims' families and wants to know what happened. A brief U.S. statement said the soldier suspected of being involved with the shooting was in custody, but gave no further details. A senior military official in Washington said three others were wounded, but the U.S. military in Baghdad said nobody else was hurt. An American journalist jailed for 4 months in Iran was freed Monday and reunited with her parents after an appeals court suspended her 8-year prison sentence on charges of spying for the U.S. Her parents said they would bring her home to the U.S. within days. The release of Roxana Sabari, a 32-year-old dual Iranian-American citizen, clears a major snag in President Barack Obama's efforts to engage Iran in a dialogue after decades of shunning the country. Washington had called the charges against Sabari baseless and repeatedly demanded her release. Sabari's arrest in late January, followed by a secretive one-day trial in a heavy prison sentence, prompted sharp U.S. criticism. Soon after, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and other officials appeared to back off, suggesting the sentence could be reversed. On Monday, an appeals court reduced her jail term to a 2-year suspended sentence, Iran's judiciary spokesman, Alireza Jamshidi, told reporters. Jamshidi said she was free to leave Iran. From our friends at the Vancouver Sun, it is apparent that the 2010 Vancouver Olympics will be more gay-friendly, behind the scenes at least. Canadian athletes at the 2010 Winter Games will have Canada House. Russians will have Russia House. The Dutch, Holland House. And now, gay and lesbian athletes will have Pride House. For the first time in Olympic history, gay and lesbian athletes will have a place to go to relax and watch events and meet friends. On Friday, a group called Gay Whistler announced it will set up a special clubhouse in partnership with the Pan-Pacific Whistler Village Hotel. The free facility will be open to homosexual athletes, their families, friends and fans. It will offer a lounge, television screens and meeting areas. It is really important to have a safe space for out athletes, coaches, fans, and allies to come and hang out, share their stories, trade pins and have fun, said Dean Nelson, one of the organizers. That may not sound like much, considering Whistler annually holds a Winter Pride celebration and Vancouver has one of Canada's legendarily vibrant gay and lesbian communities, but Pride House will help break down gender discrimination barriers that have long existed in the Olympics, according to Kevin Wamsley, an Olympic historian. For a traditionally conservative festival like the Olympic Games, I think this is significant, said Wamsley, a professor at the University of Western Ontario. The IOC has been skirting around the issue of sexuality since it began. Wamsley said the Olympics, built around the traditional societal model of strong men and feminine women, has not been a friendly place for homosexuals in the past. It has been an uncomfortable issue for the IOC since the 1920s. That's because sport is one of those forms of culture that has produced a gender binary for Western and Eastern civilizations. When you start to blur the lines of sexuality, people in the past have gotten the hair on their neck up. Nelson said he and several others started working on Pride House about 3 years ago as an extension of efforts Gay Whistler and others made to hold the North American Gay Games. There is a huge contingent of athletes out there, some of them are Olympic caliber. The Olympics is generally a pretty homophobic structure, where being out is not really encouraged, he said. We are hoping we can be a catalyst and change that perception that you can be your authentic self. Still, the current field of out-of-the-closet homosexual athletes is relatively sparse. It's easier to name former Olympic athletes such as Mark Tewksbury, the Canadian swimmer who won an Olympic gold medal in 1992, and went on to be named Canada's Male Athlete of the Year before announcing in 1998 that he was gay. Nelson said Tewksbury's support has been instrumental for Pride House. Neither the Vancouver Organizing Committee nor the IOC are partners in Pride House, and the group is being careful to tell sponsors that their marketing rights will only be displayed within the house itself. But Nelson said some Vanex staff have already offered some moral support. Because of time zone differences, the IOC could not be reached for comment. Pride House will also offer much-needed moral support for Olympic athletes who are not yet out of the closet, or who come from countries that are not progressive towards homosexuality, said Wayne Hartrick, a Vancouver public affairs consultant who has been active in the Whistler Pride festivities. Finally today, Lambda Newsblog is on Wikipedia. Go to Wikipedia and search for Lambda Newsblog. That's all for today. I'm Christopher Warner. Peace be with you.